And we are live. Hey, family, welcome to another JMMB Goal Getter Live. I have to big up my regular people who always join us every week on the live. Richardo, you're already in our comments coming in from YouTube. Hey, Richardo, thanks for joining us. Welcome, everybody. It's another awesome day. Well, we're doing this live on a Tuesday, but whether you're watching the live or you're watching the replay, we're happy to have you here for another JMMB Goal Getter Live. And again, we are bringing you JMMB Goal Getter Live as another in this series of webinars like these, where we give you all the information you need to navigate the COVID-19 pandemic and the impact that it has been having on our economy and on our people and on you perhaps even. So we're here giving you all the information you need. Of course, we invite you to drop a comment, say hi, tell us where you're watching from. Hey, Shanique, Odian, you see all my regular people. So we love to have our regular people. If you're new, this is your first time, second time, third time, it doesn't matter. Please drop a comment, say hi, tell us where you're watching from. We usually have people watching all over the world, and we are happy to have you. So this is another conversation tonight that is going to be awesome. Yes, I say that every single week, that all of our discussions are awesome, but tonight is going to be just as awesome because it's a conversation we find not a lot of people have, but a lot of people need. Hey, Janice, what's happening? Alonzo, excellent. Watching from Manchester. Yeah, man, we're all over Jamaica and we're international as well. Hey, Alwayne, how is the family? Good to see you. So yes, guys, let's get down to it. So we've had a lot of talk. So we know that the COVID-19 pandemic has had a tremendous impact on our economy, on various sectors, and on people, right? And what we've found is that there's been a lot of discussions to entrepreneurs, that target entrepreneurs and businesses, talking about how businesses and entrepreneurs can navigate the crisis. But we have not really heard or been a part of conversations that actually speak to the employees. Hello, I'm one, right? The employees, and helping them to understand how to navigate this crisis and how to deal and how to stay marketable and stay relevant. And the reality is, we know that it's a thing. What we've seen is that sectors like tourism and entertainment and transportation have all been negatively impacted. So many businesses have been negatively impacted. Some have even shut down. Persons have not only lost jobs, but what we've even seen within those sectors and various businesses as well is that there are even some job functions that have come under threat because of the pandemic. And even if they're not under threat right now, because of how we see the economy and the business sectors and consumer demand shifting, we see that there can even be opportunities for new roles and new jobs that will become in demand, even more so in demand in the future. So the question that a lot of us who are employees, who look for jobs and get paid to work, there's nothing wrong with that. The big question is, how do we stay marketable? How do we stay relevant? How do we stay competitive in this ever-evolving job market? And that is what we are going to break down tonight. So again, as usual, we not only invite you to stay tuned. If you know anybody who could use this information, anybody who is on the job market, looking for a job, may need to look for a job, would like to look for a job, call them, text them, WhatsApp, DM, tag them, tell them to come right here and be a part of this discussion, or share this video if you're watching the replay, because we really think this is an awesome discussion with some great nuggets as usual that we will be happy to share. And again, we love the engagement in the comments. If you are an employee or you're looking to find a job, or you really have questions about what's going to be in it for you as far as your own marketability in the job market, drop a comment, drop a question. We'd love to hear from you. Hey, Harry. Hey, Raquel. Nice to see you, all our Facebook peeps and YouTube peeps. Where are my Twitter people? Come on, guys. Drop a comment. We are happy to have you. And as usual, we have some awesome guest panelists who are going to be part of the discussion tonight, and they know their thing. Just to be clear, at JMMB, we don't say HR, right? Or that department in JMMB is called our Culture and Human development department or team, as it were, CHDT. But for the purpose of this discussion, you're gonna hear HR every now and again. But both of these ladies are people development professionals, and they know their stuff. They're in the industry. They know what employers need and are looking for, and they know how to support employees in realizing their goals and dreams. So this is going to be another discussion. Hey, Syed from Trinidad. I love it. You know, JMMB, we're in Trinidad as well. So let's introduce our lovely, lovely guest here tonight. So we have one guest who is technically not a guest, but she is part of the JMMB team. And she is a people development consultant with JMMB as part of our CHDT/HR team in JMMB. And she is Diana Morgan Burgess. Hey, Diana. You're on mute. So just unmute for us and tell us hi.
Hi, everyone. I am very, very happy to be here. Very happy to be on this JMMB Live as an external, internal support.
Oh, absolutely, Diana. We thank you so much. You know, Diana is one of our people MVPs in JMMB. Not only is she great at what she does in the area of people development, but she's like a real big sister / mom, always offering a wise word of counsel. Right, Diana. So we really love Diana, and we're very happy that she chose to be a part of this discussion here tonight. And then our second panelist, who is not an immediate member of the JMMB family, but hey, we're all family here tonight because she has chosen to be a part of this discussion. She is Lisa Soares Lewis. Hey, Lisa.
Hi, Kerry-Ann. Can you hear me okay?
Perfectly. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight, Lisa. We really appreciate it. Lisa is the founder and CEO of a company called Great People Solutions, and it's a consulting firm, right, Lisa? And I know you work with a lot of clients in various sectors and various entities. So we are very excited and looking forward to what it is you have to share with us tonight.
Same.
All right. So Stephen is saying, hi, Lisa and Diana, two of my favorite peeps in the world on one platform.
Awesome. Wow. Hi, Stephen.
I think we have a marriage proposal kind of coming through here. No, I'm kidding. I mean, we do get those on the live as well. But yeah, so no sliding into the DMs, right, guys? So yeah, so we're going to have a great discussion tonight. So let's level set, okay? So we've gotten to know each other. We know what we're talking about, and we're ready to roll. So ladies, now the first thing we like to do in these discussions is level set. What's happening? So could you give us, we know again you work with a number of people. Diana not only works with persons within JMMB Group, but she also works with other companies as well. So her breadth of knowledge is broad as well. And based on what you see happening and what you know and discussions you've had with employers and yes, even employees, could you just give us a sense, ladies, you know, what are some of the employment trends you see occurring? You know, just tell us, where are we going? What are your predictions and what are the skill sets that are both going to be losing relevance or increasing in demand? And I'd love, Lisa, if you could start off by giving us your perspective on those areas, as we said.
Okay. Thank you. And hi, everybody. Big shout out to Trinidad. I went to school in Trinidad, so it's nice to see everybody. And of course, Stephen and everybody that's joining us here and abroad. You know, going first means I kind of have to break the bad news in that the trends continue, you know. I would say just to put a timeline on it, the job losses went down really fast for Jamaica in tourism. We have 350,000 workers in tourism, and that includes direct and indirect. That's about 25 to 30% of our labor force in terms of employed labor force. And many other jobs were linked to it, and those jobs started to be affected. So if you did all your work related to the tourism industry, you found those jobs would have been affected regardless of the industry, and that's what we call linkages. So it's hard. We have layoff rules, so people are actually laid off. They have not lost their jobs, but we have like up to 4 months, 120 days to have persons actually be off their job. So they're waiting. They may be paid or not paid. So it then creates an opportunity for them to actually look for other things to do. What I would say is that the people who lost jobs will wait, but the kind of skills that we're seeing popping up now also create opportunities. So if you do anything online, if you create content, if you are somebody who is developing, like you're in IT and you're a software developer, and you can help a company actually move their normal work and service offering online, that's a job that's definitely in need. Delivery type roles, anything in the supply chain, and certainly consultants are still less. Coaches, counselors, those are the kind of jobs that are there. I would say if you are in education, it's also great. And that means you can actually educate and impart, but it has to be online. We've all been in quarantine. We've all had a problem in terms of being able to go out. So even now, although we have lifted a lot in Jamaica in terms of restrictions, people are still using, online type platforms to do work, webinars, and so on. We're going to get more face-to-face as people get brave enough to go outside. I'm an advocate for reopening Jamaica, advocate for reopening industries. I work with the tourism industry. I saw a shout out from somebody. I think Ed Bartlett and Chris Tufton and all of them have been doing a great job to get us to where we need to go. So we really have to recreate these jobs, and they're coming online. Health is clearly great career. And if I was a doctor, I would have a telemedicine business today. I would do that. It would be my side gig. I would make sure I could have these great opportunities for that. And I would say, don't want to take up too much time, but I would say there's a great excitement in agriculture. So even home gardening, anything that you can do, you may find that, there's an opportunity for you to do modern agriculture or, an investment with somebody or just start it. But there, I would say there are a lot of trends, Kerry-Ann, and I can say a little bit more if you want a little later on.
Thank you so much, Lisa. We really appreciate that. And again, I just want to reiterate for everybody who's watching that while obviously we see it is what it is in terms of the industries and the businesses that have been negatively impacted by COVID to date, and we're very excited as well about the reopening and the decisions, the wise decisions that are being made about how to live with COVID, which I think is really the theme that seems to be coming out right now. JMMB as an organization, we believe in possibility thinking, and we also agree that there are very much so opportunities. And again, we love the engagement from our folks on the live. And again, guys, if you know of any opportunities that you see coming up, please share. Dana, what is your perspective on what's happening now? What's your level set type of vision and prediction of what you see happening in terms of opportunities and so on?
So I agree with Lisa and how she went deep. I would say that one thing I notice now is service industry. So where you're able to provide service. Also, I notice where people are touching their passion, anything that's coming that is coming out of who you are and your natural skills. So if you're people who are finding out that they can actually cook very well, those things are opening up for people who are trainers, because if you've been in an organization and you're good at what you do and you're now able to train and deliver that online, that is something that is in great demand right now. It is very important also to understand that some of the things that are going away are those typical face-to-face related jobs. So if you're training and you only are that person who can go and do a PowerPoint and those kinds of stuff, you may end up in a little bit of a challenge. So you want to actually go internal, and that is what I'm realizing, that this season it has opened up a lot for persons, because people are sewing, people are making masks, people are doing things that, today I had somebody who started something just because I asked him to do it. I wanted some things picked up at the store and delivered to me, and he did it. And then by the time he came up here, one of my neighbors also wanted something in that regard. So I shared, and he's now like, that's now something that he realized, he can start doing that for other persons. So I say service related and anything related to passion is what I'm seeing coming up right now.
Thank you for that perspective, Diana. And it's interesting how you brought up people using the opportunity. And I think Lisa alluded to it as well about the whole matter of pivoting. Because a couple of weeks ago, we did a live about how businesses can pivot their models to adjust to the new realities during and post COVID. What is also a reality that employees can also pivot as well with respect to the skill sets, new skills that they can acquire, or new jobs that they can take on, side gigs and main gigs that they can take on as well. All of that is relevant for employees as it is for businesses. So thanks for that level setting, ladies. So I think basically we're agreeing that obviously the reality of industries, sectors, businesses that have been impacted and where we see things transitioning, but we're also seeing that there are opportunities, especially in the areas that allow us to level set or to upskill, rather using opportunities for online trading. And there are certain sectors where we see a lot of growth opportunity, like agriculture was mentioned as one where we encourage persons to look at those.
Oh, I actually start planting my own food in my yard too. I just grew pumpkin.
Yeah, and Lisa as well too. So yeah, I think everybody's pretty much learning how to turn them hand make fashion, as we say in Jamaica, because there are really a lot of opportunities to do that. Not only from an employee perspective, but even just because it's good for your own pocket these days as well. It's an awesome opportunity. So let's shift gears a little bit and start to look at technology, because obviously there's a shift that has occurred in this time of COVID, as we're going to call it tonight perhaps, where there is an increased use of digital, right? Now, in our research for this discussion, we, looking online and stuff, we saw there was a Forbes magazine article, and it was published very recently in December 2019. But this discussion has actually been going on for some time. And the article was actually quoted as saying that things like artificial intelligence, robotics, and technology, they will slowly and steadily displace the human workforce, which really has been happening for many years, moving even from the industrial age coming up. But what the article went on to say is that it's going to happen, they predict, industry by industry, and it's going to now happen. Maybe you may not even know that it's going to happen until it actually hits your particular job, right? Now, with the instance of the pandemic that's happening now, I guess our question is, and I'm going to direct this next question to Lisa, do you see this as being a likely impact in Jamaica? Because we read these articles, it sounds like, yeah, man, that is foreign, that don't really apply to us here in Jamaica. What's your prediction and what's your assessment now based on what's happening? Work from home, businesses looking at how to do things differently, more efficiently, more cost effectively. Do you think this technology reality is going to be something that we Jamaican workers need to be concerned about anytime soon?
Well, first of all, it's a great question. And, one of the sources you quoted, they actually have the future of work as, they call it, an obsession. Every day they want to know what's happening. So it's a great body of work. I personally sometimes feel very optimistic, and then I have to acknowledge my feelings. And sometimes I feel a little worried, because I believe also I'm very pragmatic that a lot of jobs can be commoditized. When I saw Watson coming out, and that was really replacing a lot of the work of lawyers, I thought to myself, well, consultants and accountants, all of us are in the queue for that kind of, artificial intelligence that can take over the kind of diagnostic work that we do. Now, it will never replace the human feelings that we give, because people want experiences, right? So I know that we're not going to be fully replaced at all. But I acknowledge that it is a scary situation to be in. And when I was sharing the story, I went to Mumbai in February. And the only reason I went to Mumbai was because I was getting a global award. But the reality is that when I went, the whole conference was about the future, and it was about happiness. And I thought, wow, they want happiness. It kind of sounds a little JMMB-ish too, just to give you some props. But why they were just focusing on that is because they had surveys, because they're in Asia, they're in the middle of the BPO, and they're closer to the whole world of automation and AI and robotics than us. They had surveys where 55% of the persons that if they surveyed were going to be retraining because they thought they would be replaced. 65% felt that their jobs would be replaced by AI or automation in the next 5 years. Okay, let that sink in. And therefore, they had that sense of anxiety about what do I do? We don't have all the answers, but I would say that the work I've done where I've encountered like futurists, and we had a futurist who brought that person down to Jamaica a few years ago. And she did share with us that, you have to stay current. She did say there are certain jobs that are probably not going to change. So if you're a carpenter, if you are an electrician, if you had that kind of skills-based construction, hold on to that. You're likely not to change because we're always going to need that. There are a lot of jobs for repetition that will change. But I think you have to see that there are experiences. A lot of the successful entrepreneurs that are coming out now are having jobs that give people experiences because we're still human and we're going to want to have that. So for my business, I offer very bespoke services. I don't go in and just give you something you can get online. I offer you something that you want for your business, for your context, that I can give you to make value for you. And the reality is that any of us in that situation will have it. You're not going to be able to replace a caterer. You're not going to replace those jobs that people are still interacting and providing service. There's hardly a chance that people are going to be very excited about an online vacation when they can come to Jamaica and drink red strawberry and have a great time at Sandals or any hotel, small, medium, or large, that they'll never forget. So I believe that a lot of those jobs are going to stay in. But I'm not naive to think that some of them are going to be changed. And then manufacturing, if it's repetitive, it can be automated. That's basically what they say. So specialty manufacturing is what suits us in Jamaica. And I think I'm on a jumper board, and I believe that we ought to look on things like that. So things that are special, different, that have branding, that's what we need to focus on. And we have a very creative mindset in Jamaica. So I know that, we're not going to be affected, but the fact that we have BPO jobs here, let's bring them to Jamaica because that's automating certain things as well. KPOs, knowledge process outsourcing, all of those things, let's get them here because we have to preserve jobs. Jamaica is not a place to go without jobs. I'm for investment, but I'm also for job creation and productivity. I can stop there and say more later.
Thank you so much. Wow, that's good stuff. So I guess that's a clear enough message that there are certain things that we don't see disappearing locally, things like in the service industries. As you said, there's nobody wants an online virtual Sandals vacation or any of the other hotel properties. Things like, your toilet is broken, you need a plumber, I don't know how AI is going to help you. So there are certain skills-based type jobs that will always be in demand. But in the other sense, if you can build your skill sets in the area of technology and the digital space, as well as we seek to attract business process outsourcing, knowledge process outsourcing type jobs and so on to Jamaica, that there is an opportunity. And I will say that as I'm not an employer because obviously I'm employed to JMMB, but as a team leader who is always on the lookout for persons with skill sets, I know a lot of those are the skill sets that people are chomping at the bit to find, those who are comfortable within the area of digital analytics and so on. Dana, obviously now we would have spoken about the hard skills of what we believe will be in demand in the very near future, or not going to be in as much jeopardy as others. Do you think there's a mindset shift that needs to take place as well as we see this sort of transition and adoption of technology and the use of technology in the world of work? And what kind of mindset shift do you think persons need to make? Because I think that's probably where it starts for a lot of people, is how you're going to see yourself and your role and your skills and what you bring to the table.
Correct. Well, Kerry, you really love me to ask me the mindset question. So in my mind, we have to stay fluid in our thinking in everything. So even things that we think might not go away, like plumbing or carpentry, we have to do our research constantly. We have to be figuring out how can we do it better, more efficiently? What are some of the technology stuff that we can bring to it, and we can make it, we can do more of it in a shorter time, or we can make it such that we can expand it and we can scale it, and rather than doing it the way how we always do it. So for me, the thing that works is to just be fluid in everything that we are doing. And that is how you get yourself to the place where I think it's me coined this word, where you are unredundantable. When you are constantly shifting your mindset and you are thinking, how can I do it better? You are constantly researching what's out there, what's new, what else can I bring to this situation that I thought I could do in my sleep, and know to see how I can upgrade and put on some different, make it do something different, add something to it all the time. Because if you are going down that road just like that, I think that is where you're going to end up in this situation where things are moving away and then you're shocked, like, oh my God, when did that move? So that's it. Shift yourself to thinking, being fluid. How can you do more, add more? What's out there? What else can you add to whatever you're doing?
Thanks for that, Dana. And I think that's a great nugget to kind of take away from this segment of the discussion, because I mean, as a product of Jamaica's education system as well, with all the best intentions, we always are perhaps forced to be pigeonholed from as early as third form, choosing your career and then what subjects you're going to take and and you must, do a degree in this thing. And then what has been happening is obviously with the evolution in the job market and the new skill sets that are required, which may or may not necessarily require a university degree per se. I think the point is well taken, that we do need to adopt a mindset shift of looking at other options, looking at other ways of learning and upskilling and broadening our abilities to do things differently and do different things to move with the times. And it's about, again, being fluid, as you say, Dana, and really adopting that. So great, thank you. So we just covered, just how technology, we believe, will impact the job market and how we can prepare for that, both from a hard skill and a soft skill mindset. Again, guys, we welcome folks joining the live. Hey, Julie J, great to see you as usual. Hey, Mrs. Brown, Aisha, love to see you as always. And Janet from Florida, West Palm Beach, love to see our overseas people, hoping everybody is staying safe. So let's go into the next section now, where we're going to be talking about marketability in the evolving job market according to age, right? Because let's just keep it real. The realities of staying marketable in the job market, those realities vary depending on age. From where I sit, I don't know if our guests will correct me if I'm wrong, but let's start with the millennial and Gen Z folks. And I know we have a lot of those on the live, right? Hi, David, good to see you. So the first thing is, let's start with the millennial crowd, right? And the Gen Z crowd coming up. So Lisa, we're going to jump back to you. And from where we sit, we believe that with young people, especially because of their comfort with the digital space and their comfort with the use of technology, which of course right now is life, right? They're probably in the job market already or preparing to enter the job market, right, David? And of course, they also have not only the traditional job options, but they also have gig economy options as well. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, there's an increase in demand for persons who are comfortable with digital and technology, and that's right up their street. So Lisa, first thing, we hear a lot of talk about the gig economy, and we know that because there are not always enough jobs to go around for everybody, or jobs that may not pay enough, I guess, to cover certain bills and financial obligations. Could you provide us with some additional information on what is the gig economy exactly, and how is it relevant to Jamaica? And basically, help us to kind of understand what it is, how it works, and the impact on people looking for jobs right now.
Mm-hmm. All right, good. By the way, Kerry-Ann, you're doing a great job. You set context very well, okay? And I'm a multitasker, so my eyes go to the live stream. Jillian, you're right. It's Edie Weiner. She's a futurist. Anybody can look her up online. EDIWEINER. And it's really great because when you think of a conversation like this, I was very moved by working with Edie. She's somebody that looks on all of these future trends, and at the end of the day, it's technology, but it's also how consumers change. So let's just look back on the gig economy. So those of you who, I'm not sure who is looking on the live, but essentially it comes out of, having a side gig. That's why they call it the gig economy. It is a growing part of the economy, and it is essentially a flexible workplace. So the gig economy is made up of people who are workers, gig workers. So in other words, they will work part-time, or they're what we would even consider underemployed when we're measuring them in the workforce. And then you also have people who are service or goods providers. And those are persons who are actually, they may be selling stuff online. So, and then you have the consumers. Now the consumers are driving it because guess what? The gig economy now in the past might have been just part-timers. So technically, anybody who does an underemployed kind of situation or job, and they are giving you, 20 hours a week, even as basic as what might have been a day's worker in the past, as somebody who is not having a full-time job, they're part of that group. But no, the gig economy is basically driven by a platform. So we as the consumers want to order our taxi, which is now an Uber, and therefore somebody has to come like in 5 minutes, which means we have to have a lot more of them, and they have to be agile, and they come and turn up, and we pay wirelessly and so on. I want to order food, it's the same thing. So the economy now is shifting, and it's shifting to allow all of these diverse jobs coming up, because we are driving it as consumers. To have a business like that, it means you can't offer traditional services, and therefore people who are entering that service are now coming in, and they might be full-time employees, but they'll do a gig in the evening. They're qualified, they're certified, maybe they have a passion. Coming back to what Diana said, they have a skill that they want to share, and they want to do it in the evening or so. So you'll find that gig economy type roles are obviously like drivers, delivery. You could have a graphic artist that sells stuff online. There are a lot of people who do that. So we don't have to, it's kind of leveling the world of the economy, because they don't even have the infrastructure and costs they have to do to offer these services. Millennials are very open-minded, and that's the age group of 20 to 30 something. And they basically they don't have what we have in terms of wanting to have a career that is starting from, a big company and it's all fixed, and then the next 5 years I join another company. They want 2 years and they have another job. As well as they may want to be able to, learn something new, and they want to progress fast. So they're very high mobile in terms of retention risks. And they also will want to do things that they like. So they tend to be very open to the gig economy. They may have 3 jobs. So there's 3 gigs. So they may have a full-time job and something in the evening, or they're just the straight gigs, and they're quite happy. They're not expecting a pension. They don't, and these are consumer trends we in the financial services have to watch, because if they don't want a pension, and they don't want insurance, and they don't want all these things, you have to be mindful that the consumer is changing as well. I could talk about it a lot because it is a trend that we have to face. I spoke to an economist today. I'll just end here. And I said to him, Alric, he's a great economist from UE. He's on my productivity team. And I said to him, are we measuring anything with gig? And we don't really put a label on it when we're measuring it, but it's in that kind of underemployed workforce, which is largely at the lower end, more than half of our employee base, but not all of them are obviously using the technology. So the gig is a group in there that is underemployed, but they're using a platform, using technology. They're highly skilled and they're highly mobile. They'll charge cheaper and they'll get more work, and they're just more flexible, and they're largely made up of millennials. But interesting trends.
Wow, good stuff. Good stuff. It's interesting. I love the way you contextualized millennials and their own approach to how they work, and it's so true. And just to highlight, and we love when you guys share nuggets in the live comments, folks. So please feel free to drop them. David was highlighting that there are some persons who work in the gig economy who actually contribute to pension programs and so on, and pay insurance premiums as well, because you do have those types of programs. I know JMMB offers it, Scotia does, NCB as well, where you can independently contribute to a kind of a retirement plan, essentially a pension scheme that allows you to save for retirement, and that's great for people like that. But it's great to know that there are options that millennials, and hey, non-millennials too, can take advantage of the gig economy, right, Diana? Yeah, hey. It's not only millennials can gig, right? So I can have gig and side gig and main gig. There are opportunities, and it's good to know that those can be leveraged, whether you want to do it on the side in addition to a full-time job in an office that you may do, or you could do gigs full-time, so to speak. There's that opportunity there. And even just last week, we had a live session where we were talking about hyperproductivity with Kalila Reynolds, and Kalila was saying that she has a team of persons working with her, from content writers to even an assistant, and she's never met them in person. Everything is all virtual and so on. And it's just great to know that there are these income generating opportunities there.
Well, that was my point that I was going to add, Kerry, around the gig economy, because how I'm seeing it now is we're talking about how the work environment has shifted, yes? So in my mind, it seemed like the gig economy is going to be the economy mostly right now. And, you know, we need to fix our minds around that, because we don't know what's going to happen with the work world and how it's going to unfold. So gig is going to be it a lot more, and we want to encourage persons to go into their passion and come out with whatever gig they can impact the world with and serve and that kind of thing. But I know you had a question for me, Kerry.
Absolutely. No, we love the discussion. Feel free to drop the nuggets, Dana. It's true. I mean, the way things are evolving, I mean, entities like Internet Income Jamaica, hey Alicia, who has been training probably by now thousands of Jamaicans in how to generate income online. It's a reality, and it's great to see that people are taking the opportunity to be able to do that. Now, still within the age group discussion, you know, because we're talking about millennials and the Gen Zs coming up. Now, when again preparing for the live, when we're doing our research, for persons who want to remain or maintain or enhance their marketability in an evolving job market, employers tend to complain about the absence of the right soft skills, right, in a job. So yes, everybody is big on, and this next question I'm going to ask is for Dana. So everybody's big on getting that degree and getting the training in this particular area and building the skill set, the hard skills, but the soft skills of time management and communication and leadership and organizational skills and so on, listening skills, you know, tend to be lacking. And we see international research being done and numbers being spat out by employers who are struggling to find, hire, and retain people who are not just great on the hard skills side, but on the soft skills side. And a lot of studies also saying that the right soft skills can actually determine your success. Now, again, I think millennials and Gen Zs get a lot of flack. You know, this is not the live or the discussion to say whether that's true or not. But Dana, based on your interaction, because of course I know in your people development role in JMMB and in other entities, dealing with a lot of millennials and Gen Zers coming up, do you find this difficulty in finding people with soft skills applicable to Jamaica? Yes, yeah or nay?
Okay, so soft skills is a very interesting part of the whole education and their qualification. So I'm going to say something. In 2003, I was asked to give a presentation at UTech for some incoming, for the persons who are joining for orientation. And I didn't really know what to talk about. So I spoke about succeeding beyond your degree. And it was 2003. And this now we're in 2020 in this situation. And that need to focus on the soft skills beyond the academics is even more important. So it is sometimes a little bit interesting when you're trying to talk to younger persons and everybody, not even young people alone. Let me stop bother young people. A lot of people do not focus naturally on soft skills. But what I have found is that the academics, the technical, that is what gets you in the game. And then to remain in the game and to be for persons to be tapping you for development and for promotion and all those kinds of stuff, it is very important that you are building on your soft skills. So when I talk about soft skills, I'm talking about those skills that you use to impact, those skills that how you show up is beyond your technical stuff, beyond your academics, how you impact your environment, how you add value to the organization, what is going on how you build relationships, how you support other person's development, what do you do to impact the team. Those are the things that's important. When you are looking at just focusing on your technical or your academics, that's the time when you're challenged to move or to develop or to grow in organizations. It's very, very important that we focus on the things that emotional intelligence is what they call it, but really what they're saying is how you leave people feeling. How do you impact your environment? That's basically what soft skills is, and it's very, very important. And we just can't move without it.
Absolutely. So
especially now in this environment.
Absolutely. So I think the point is well made, that the presence of soft skills, and certainly the right soft skills depending on the career or the path that you're taking, very, very important to have. I think we're all agreed on that. So the question then is, for those watching on the live and even the replay, is how do I know what soft skills I need to build and or enhance? Because of course, self-awareness is something that, some of us struggle with more than others, and that's okay. So the question then is, Dana, what do I need to do in my own assessment as I ready myself for the job market, or as I'm trying to improve my marketability as an existing member of the job market? How do I know what soft skills I need, and what practical steps can I take to improve, enhance, or make those soft skills become present in me, if that's at all possible?
Right. So importantly, as you are coming into the work world and you are looking to build your career, I like to say it's important to identify yourself like a business. So as a business, you need to have a vision for the business. So as a person who you are a business, you need to have a vision for what it is, how you want your career to build out, right? What are the goals that you have? And then once you start to identify that, right, there's a way that you will see. So once you start to look at what is the vision for my life, my career, my business, me, and then that will guide you in the direction of the kind of skills that you need. When you are inside of an organization, how you watch to see what's going on is, and I can't underscore it even more, I can't underscore it enough, is how are you impacting people? What are the relationships like? When are you adding value? Are you bringing more to this space that you are in? And it's dependent on where you are. So, for example, if you're in marketing, let's say, are you this person who you're just focusing on the task that you have to do in that role? Or are you focusing on how can I ensure that my team is impacting the rest of the organization? And are you that person? Are you that person who go out there and try to make the connections and understand how people are experiencing your department and figure it out? So you're out there, you are that person you are not only, focusing on the tasks and the projects that you're on, but what value are you bringing outside of the actual technical aspect of your job? And that's going to be dependent on what your situation is. So those are the key. When you start to look at how you're impacting people, then you're going to know what it is that you need to be doing more of or less of. If you're a person who go around the place and you can't bring anything serious, then that is going to be a challenge. But you need to, when people interact with you, how are they left? What memorable thing they are going to be, when they leave your presence, they're going to say, oh, this person, wow, it's amazing. That experience was that.
Yeah, and I think a lot, another way that you can identify that
they have online about soft skills, this, that, but I don't want to focus on those little things, because when you're in the situation, you are going to know, and that is how people feel when they're interacting with you. That is going to be important. Of course, we can talk about assessment tests and all those kinds of stuff, which is also part of how people get to zone into what is core to you, how are you showing up, what you need to do more of or less of. So assessment tests, those are some things that I recommend highly, and we can do that as we go along.
And I agree with that. I think it's a good investment if you can invest the time and the resources to be able to do that, to help give you a better picture. And sometimes asking questions as well from your team leader, your boss,
your mentor, that kind of thing.
Your mentor, your team.
Test, as you're saying, Kerry, we are going to drop some information about that at the end.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you gotta stay tuned, guys. We have some a great action item that we can share with you that's going to help you to do that. And again, guys, we're loving the engagement online because we're still in the age conversation. So we just kind of touched on some key areas that we thought we would have been pertinent for our millennial and Gen Z crowd. We're going to move into our Gen X and baby boomer crowd very shortly. And again, we love seeing everybody join. Hey, Ryan. Ryan is dropping a nice little tidbit here. Ryan highlighted that the top 5 soft skills identified by LinkedIn are creativity, persuasion, collaboration, adaptability, and emotional intelligence. We've been mentioning that, and this is for 2020. And of course, most of these were present for 2019 as well. So soft skills is a huge conversation that's happening. And of course, I think the point is well made that it's going to be a significant part of your marketability and your success in whatever path you choose. So let's now shift gears a little bit, still in the age conversation, and I'm going to go back to Lisa, so we've been discussing millennials and Gen Zers. Now we're moving more into the Gen Xers and the baby boomers, and why we're important, because we're people too. Okay, Gen Xer right here. Okay, let's just keep it real, right? We're people too. But the reality is that the economy has basically caused Gen Xers and boomers to either remain in the job market for longer than they perhaps would have otherwise liked, or if they probably wanted to leave or step back a bit, they've had to maintain their push because, again, the economic realities dictated. So, Lisa, could you share with us what advice do you have for older persons who are either looking for a new job right now or seeking to change their current job, and just generally, how do they look at their own marketability in this job market right now?
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you. So a shout out to Ryan. Ryan is absolutely right. And I just want to say, I'm going to just kind of pull in from even where Diana left off to just confirm those capabilities are the ones that people really, really are looking for and will need into the future. And even as I said, when I went to this thing in India and they were talking about the future, collaboration, communication, definitely creativity is like number 1 and 2. And as a leader, I would add another C, which is coaching. So there are a lot of C's in the capabilities. So whether you're in the millennial group, and I just want to recap, I completely support the fact that there are a lot of people who have gigs and they are buying these financial services, including pensions. I myself, I'm obviously on the flexible side of work, and they are buying them. And the providers are making it even more flexible for them, to the point that we're going to go down to micro pensions. So they're not going to lose out. It's just that they're buying them in a different way. They're trying to get more of it online, etc. So as we go into that, since I brought up pensions, the older group, nobody wants to call the age, but I said 40 up. Well, 40 is young for me. I have many persons who are about to retire that call me, and they might be executives. And I say, Lisa, what job opportunities are there? So there is no, the retire is RETYRE. It's like they want to have a new career. If you have a philosophy like mine, as I was sharing with you guys on earlier, I probably don't plan to have a retirement age. It may be where some extra cash flow comes in, but I'm going to stay occupied. So people want to be able to continue to do jobs, and therefore the gig economy may be very much for them. So they have to have these capabilities that we know are soft skills, but they also have to stay current. They have to, I would say one thing about the mindset that I would say an older person needs to have is to be curious. If you're curious, you can learn. And if you can learn, then you have an opportunity to be an agile learner. And in this current environment, we need agile learning. So if you're getting older, I think COVID kind of has leveled the playing field. It has given us a little time to go and learn something new. So anybody coming back to work, I tell a lot of my clients who are CEOs, please tell your team members who are at home, who I know are not as productive, because not every job is productive at home, work from home, is to learn something new. Do not come back to work without understanding these platforms. I did not know the StreamYard, as we're using it today. StreamYard, yes, that's the name of it, until I use it today. So I can tick that box. I know this. I've done Instagram Live, tick that box. We just have to try. And if it's technology, ask a young person, ask a 6-year-old, and they can teach you. So I think older persons need to learn, and they need to just be curious about things. I would even say learn about Black Lives Matter. Just be curious, be conversational, understand what's happening. Try and get that next career going. It doesn't have to mean retirement. More specifically, when you come to get a job and you might come to a recruiter like me, I want to see a resume that still pops. I want to see a resume that's tight, 2 pages. I want to see where your achievements are there. You have the benefit of putting achievements in. So I would say older persons cannot get complacent, because even if you go for a job at 55, 65, 45 even, you're looking for these achievements on your resume. And I would say the one thing as an energy leader coach, I do assessments, and those are actually in energy leadership. I look for energy. So I rarely look on age. In fact, I'll tell you, don't put your age on the CV. I'll tell you, take stuff off. You don't even have to start from the beginning of your career, but you need to come with energy. So if you are going for a job, an interview, or you're turning up in a new role in your organization, I think it's really important for that part of it to be in it. So I would say those are the things. I don't know if I answered the question, but I'm happy to elaborate a bit more.
Oh, no, I think those are some awesome nuggets, because the first thing is just to kind of summarize the need to remain current with the use of technology and digital platforms and tools and so on. Not because, it's not something that we would have necessarily grown up using. It's new to us. The reality is, because they are what they are, you have to be relevant, but you have to remain relevant by being very comfortable with them, bringing that energy. I hear hints of wellness coming out, people. We got to keep our diet up, keep physically fit so we can keep up with the rigors of a demanding career. And of course, knowing how to sell ourselves and highlighting our achievements, always relevant. I think those are some very great nuggets. I would ask Dana, conversely, again, still to support our Gen Xers and our boomers. Some will say that age discrimination in the hiring process may still be a thing. So in as much as, you don't, Lisa didn't encourage us to put our ages on the resumes. Totally agree with that, right? The reality is, though, that sometimes even when you walk into the interview room, you really can't hide. And, you graduated from so-and-so high school. Really? What year were you there? It kind of puts you out there. Do you have any tips, Dana, for, again, the Gen Zers and the boomers about how to manage any potential age discrimination experiences or encounters in the hiring process?
Okay, I'm going to try my best about that, right? And I'm going to have to say to you that I still want to focus on the fact that the things shift on us, yeah? It has shifted, and we don't know where it's going to go. I want to also say that it is very important to focus on what you can create as a work right now. Yes, it is nice to think that we can go back out there and go on the job market and thing. And I love how Lisa put it and organize the thing, and so that you know exactly how to do up your resume and so on. And I will say I am not afraid of the age thing. Of course, we are here having this conversation on JMMB's Goal Getter series. Why? Because Joan Duncan started JMMB when she was 52. She passed away when she was 58, so it was a good thing she started it and followed her passion again, and what was in her heart and her gut. So I'm saying in this time, I want to direct people a lot to focus on whatever it is that they have inside of them that is guiding them, and the thing that they have been wanting and waiting to do. I'm saying, I want you to think about that, yes? And then experience is very, very important. So when you go to look for a job, when job open up back and you start look, you want to know that you can't, the value of your experience is very, very important to organizations and to anybody who building something. I say this, another example is the KFC guy. He has a proper name. I forget it right now. But the Colonel, he started KFC, and you know how successful it is when he was 65. So it's the age around when you can go out there and have an impact. I think that has shifted. I know if you're in the work world already now, and you're older, Gen Z, Gen person, you want to make sure that you are upskilling all the time. You are not sitting down there and saying, well, look how much experience I have doing this thing and I've been doing it for years. No, you want to go out there and you want to build on what you already know. You want to understand what else is happening, so that when things are happening, when people are looking for persons to move up, they can identify you. Why? Because you are bringing something more. It is very important all the time to upskill and to always be bringing something more, adding value. That's where it is right now. People are looking, as the organization and as the environment has shifted on us, people are looking to see, where are you bringing the bonus? There was a time when we are looking to get the bonus. Now organizations looking for who bringing bonus. That is adding more value.
Awesome. And I think one good takeaway from this segment of the discussion, first of all, starts with even our own mindset as older employees and older job seekers, that we need to overcome that mental barrier about how we see ourselves as a valuable contribution. Let's not have that self-defeating talk, boy, I'm too old, I'm not going to get it, nobody's going to value me. First of all, get over that barrier, and then, of course, make that contribution, make that impact, and bring that to the table. Because as we're seeing here, there are many persons famous people, and I see David really helping us out here, highlighting people like Walt Disney and Oprah and Barack Obama, people who would have, you could say, experienced the primes of their careers on the other side of 40. But the reality is that, as I love David's nugget here, no one is limited by age. We're limited by our drive in life. So let's not allow our age to be that hindrance. Let's push through and take charge of the opportunities, make the impact, and of course, be proud and put that forward. Awesome. Hey, Lisa Maria from Trinidad. Love to see you. Thanks for joining us. Okay, great. So we've talked about a lot of things here. So we've level set, we've talked about what things look like now. We touched on technology and the impact on the job market and job seekers. We've also now just wrapped up a discussion about age and how your age and stage could perhaps impact your marketability and what you can do to hedge against that. So let's now deal with what is really the big 10 ton, 4 ton, however heavy the gorilla is in the room, right? Which is COVID-19 and the impact that the pandemic has had on the job market. And for those of us, especially on Twitter, it's a big discussion when you talk about the hashtag future of work. What we thought would have taken years to happen, COVID-19 basically caused to happen overnight, which basically changed how we worked. So a lot of companies and employees who never thought that they could have worked from home found a way to make it happen, if not eventually. There are also businesses who have had to pivot and find new ways of serving customers, either virtually or in a contactless environment. So many changes have taken place in light of COVID. And of course, the evolution in the job market has occurred and will continue to occur as the new normal and new realities of a living with COVID-19 life evolves. So I'm going to go back to Lisa now. So Lisa, could you share with us then, in light of all of what is happening with COVID-19, what are the specific actions in your view that individuals can take to remain marketable, so that as we see the evolution of the job market unfold, and we're talking about reopening of economies and so on, what are the actionable steps individuals can do to really land that job and improve their career marketability?
All right. So I would say, first of all, as a coach, a lot of us are recognizing that there's anxiety. The anxiety is at home. You know, I did a paper. I myself went through the anxiety for the first month. I realized leaders were not making any decisions. They weren't talking, a lot of inertia. And I'm talking about big CEOs. They weren't engaging people. They're afraid to talk about what's coming and so on. And then I realized that the root of it is fear. And therefore, I had to step back and I did a whole paper on COVID. And I called it, you know, this is a visualization paper. It's like 4 hurricanes at once. You know, it's a COVID medical, it's the economic, it's a social, which is really where that whole anxiety is happening, and, you know, crime and everything, and the technological piece, which you covered so well. The reality is that I use a visualization because I know that as a people, we're very resilient. Throughout the Caribbean, since September the 12th, 1988, Jamaica has never been the same. We know how to come out of hurricanes. As soon as the breeze stops blowing, we go and clean up and we get back our normalcy. And we start growing again. And before you know it, we're growing again. That's the mindset we need now. So, you know, coming back to some of what Diana was saying, now is the time to kind of explore yourself and get things going. But I think the crisis comes down on us hard. So the first thing we have to do is literally breathe. There is no workshop I start without a breathing exercise for the teams that I'm working with at any level, to just get oxygen in, breathe, and to be able to just say, listen, this too shall pass. So for me, I'm an advocate for reopening Jamaica. I don't even count COVID cases because it doesn't matter. What is it going to do? Because you can't eat, breathe, you have to go back to work. So wear 2 masks if you have to. I believe in a safe work environment. I've written protocols. I want people to go back to work and realize they can continue to do things normally. Get new skills. And of course, I love what Diana said. You know, there is a passion that you have not discovered yet. Boy, now is the time. I hope you have written the book. I hope you have decided that you're going to be the top gardener in Jamaica and you're going to create the best strawberries or whatever it is. But try and unlock that opportunity for you now. And when you're going back to work, I think it's really important to just kind of look on what is there. There's a lot of job loss. As a leader, I encourage leaders to recognize you're going into an environment of intense, what we call VUCA. It's volatile, it's uncertain, it's complex, and it's ambiguous. Now is a time for you to be the best leader you can be. It's a time for extraordinary thinking, extraordinary actions, and therefore, you know, we can't get Jamaica to where it is before COVID. We have got to leapfrog and get it better. So a company like JMMB, which we know is based on breakthrough thinking, you know, you want to encourage a lot of that. There's no possibility that you cannot have now for your business or your ministry if you're a government worker or a hospital or if you're a freelancer. Make this opportunity come to you now. Use your intuition and say what people really want And therefore, you may get the skills that you need, or go and find them, or partner with somebody to make it happen. But I think a lot of what happens, I don't know if I'm still on track because I'm so passionate about this, so you can just ask me to clarify. But a lot of what people want is to really get a sense of normalcy first. Then you step back and say, okay, I know I was doing it this way before. Now I have to think about it differently and unlock that creativity we spoke about. Find that possibility. Even if you go back to the same job, I wouldn't be complacent. That job is not the same. Even if they give me the same job description, I have to turn it up. It's not going to be the same because times have changed. So I would say, going in, a lot of it is more the mindset and allowing yourself to be the best you've ever been. And I think it should happen in the home. I think it should happen at work. It should happen in the government. And I expect that of my leader. And I have told many of them.
Wonderful. I think that's an awesome nugget. It's really time to ramp up that extraordinary thinking and spur it on to extraordinary action. And I know we highlighted the point earlier. So Lisa, in light of all that is said, and so I'm back at work, or I'm still probably working from home, or I'm back at work physically. But the reality is, as you said, nothing is ever going to be the same, even if you're in the same job. And I can testify to that, my team and I, that even how we've been doing marketing in some respects have shifted, because even though digital marketing was always a thing, by way of an example, and we've been doing quite a bit of it, COVID kind of just took it from 10 to 50 literally overnight. The next follow-up question I have then to that is recognizing that things aren't the same, they will not be the same. Where specifically can someone look to identify opportunities for retooling or upskilling, as the case may be? Where can we look for those opportunities? Because as you said, this is a great time to be able to upskill and retool and all of that. But where do I even begin to look for that sort of thing right now?
Okay, great question. So two things. You want to kind of know what jobs are out there. So I'm really a big supporter of CaribbeanJobs.com, to kind of always go on and look on it. Even if you're not looking for a job, see what jobs are out there so you have an idea. I think so therefore that will kind of help you to see what jobs are out there, and therefore the reskilling and retooling. I can tell you everything is online. If you follow on LinkedIn, there are always some things that come up, and they may give you a program that you can get certified. You can get certified in. It doesn't have to be a long program. So you may have always wanted to do project management, but you didn't have to go to the PMI certification. There is something online. It may be free, which is great. And if it's not, I would actually, shop around and see. You may end up spending $50, $200. I don't know, maybe even $1,000. There are a lot of ways to how to sell online, and use the power of LinkedIn, for example, for selling. There are other things that you can do in terms of, YouTube. There are ways to learn new ways of cooking on YouTube if I was a caterer. So to me, a lot of the sources of new learnings are online if you just search for them. If I'm going to think about even a role like going back in, and maybe you want a BPO role, I would certainly just, not only if you can't find the skills, because that industry trains people really well, is to just be aware of the industry. So go on and look about what's the latest trends, because then you'll have a better interview. The health sector is hiring persons now, and therefore understanding COVID. You may have been in a different business and you can pivot it to do more COVID. So even staying abreast of what is happening if you have a company that does hygiene and cleaning. So stay on top of your industry, look for what's happening. As I mentioned, even insurance and banking, those things are changing. You have to understand what a fintech is, and therefore it will allow you to go in. So I don't know if I answered the question. I can be more specific if there's anything that anybody wants to zone in on as a career. But I would say find the kind of careers that are there, and then, go online and search catering, newest trends in catering, best salads.
Yeah.
And branding. And branding. Can I say, if you're a freelancer, understand branding, or call Kerry-Ann. Kerry-Ann is a gig a gig advisor.
Right. 555. I'm kidding. No. Yeah, no, that's a great recommendation. Everything really is online. You mentioned LinkedIn. LinkedIn Learning is a great platform where you can get courses, some of which you could do at no cost or at minimal cost, depending on if you want the certificate when it's all over. Tamara, hey Tamara, reminding us of the great YouTube University, which is always there. There are other platforms that I know we've heard mentioned in this live in other discussions, things like Coursera, Udemy, depending on how you pronounce it, EDX, Udacity, all different online learning sites that you can go on and do courses in everything possible. That even Harvard actually is offering some free online courses the last time I heard, as well, in certain areas, offering certificate courses in certain things, because again, that's where we're going. Everything is online. It's a time when persons are trying to retool and upscale. So
it would be good to put those in the chat. I'm sorry to disturb you. It would be good to put some of those in. Udacity and all of them, and the universities are offering more.
Put it in the chat right here, so I know our admin team will definitely put it up shortly. So it's those opportunities are there, and the online platforms are available, guys. So feel free to check it out. And again, a lot of them are at no cost or at very minimal cost, so quite affordable if you want to check that out. So thanks so much, Lisa. That was some great insights there. Dana, on your end, and Dana, you loved me earlier for asking you the mindset question, so you're gonna love me again because we're asking you another mindset question. But again, as we talk about the new normal and the evolution of the job market that is occurring and is going to continue to occur for some time as a result of the impact of the COVID-19 crisis, obviously maintaining a positive mindset, a positive outlook is challenging for a lot of people. Yes, we're now seeing the reopening of the economy in a lot of senses, and even that, it's being watched, I guess, with bated breath as people wonder, well, will we ever go back to things as they used to be? So my question is, what mindset do you recommend persons seek to either acquire or keep, in terms of helping them to be able to retain and gain employment opportunities, to just succeed in this evolving environment? What's the mindset that you believe is that persons need to take on in this environment right now?
Well, what I say is, I think this whole working from home thing show up a whole heap of stuff. What I see as the shift is we have to move from completing tasks to being more project focused and delivering more results, and that's a mindset. So rather than how many things am I doing, is what am I completing? What results am I creating for my organization, my team, and for myself? That is very important. So it is important now. It's important now to understand, okay, this is the project. I break it up in phases and I focus on making progress, because sometimes we are there working, trying to get to perfection, and we need to understand the project, phase it, and complete something. So I say the more results that we are delivering, the better it is going to be for us to be relevant in our organization. Right about now, a lot of the task-related stuff are going away. And what we are focusing on now is, did you complete this project? What are the steps left to be taken? Who you need to contact in order to support you? Those are the kinds of stuff. So project mindset is what we are saying now. So you break it up in phases and you look to find that you are making progress. A lot of people focus on the perfection. I say progress over perfection. That's the mindset right now. Move the thing, move the needle.
Wow, I love that. Progress over perfection. That's awesome. That's awesome. On same, I guess, kind of, yes, on the mindset kind of a slant, Diana. And again, this is just speaking to people who would have had, unfortunately, the opportunity to be in a situation where their organization would have perhaps had no choice but to downsize. A lot of businesses have had to close or just downsize in order to keep the ship afloat for the time being. In your view, is there a way to, and I guess after Dana answers, I'll also ask Lisa to chime in if she can. Is there a way that you think I could, or anyone could, minimize the likelihood of them getting the dreaded pink slip, as it were? I don't know what color it is in Jamaica, but is there a way to perhaps minimize the likelihood of my being one of those roles on the chopping block? And even if that has happened to me already, is there anything I can do to mitigate the likelihood of that happening in the future? I'll start with Dana, and if Lisa has anything she wants to add after that.
Okay, so everybody know I'm off the chart pretty much. So I want to say that, firstly, many times it's a good idea to get on the list. Sorry, let me fix that quickly. So many times it is not a bad idea to be on the list. Why? Because it could be an opportunity for you to be tapping into that thing that you have been covering up and not bringing out to the world. And that was getting on the list, so to speak, was just something to kick you into, let's get moving. So that's the first thing. Next thing is how you avoid getting on the list, for me, is create yourself such that you as a person, you are unredundant able. How you get to be unredundant able, I do not know. To spell a word is me make it up. How you get to be unredundant able is ensure that you are adding value, more value than what your technical or your academic allowed you, because you just, the academics, remember I told you, it got you in the game. How you allow yourself to be unredundant able is the value that you're added, so you focus on your value add. So if you are an administrative assistant job might have shifted. Are you able to teach? Are you able to teach some of what you have been assisting on and you would have known more around that? So yes, maybe you can go and start to, oh, I love the word, see there it's spelled. No, you can, what else can you do? Remember, I also told you, this is the time when organizations are looking for bonus. They are not paying bonus, they are looking for bonus. So if you are coming with more, then it's likely that you are unredundant able, not only from the organization, but for the world. Because for me, you want to understand, grow your skills such that it can be offered anywhere, not just in whichever place you are at. I know I have to raise my hand. I know I've gotten into trouble because I've been called to coach people and help them in their mindset shift. And when I finish with them, they're asking for the redundance. And people, they're saying, Dino, I tell these people. I didn't tell them anything. All I did was to help them to get themselves. Because when you get yourself, when you get to understand your uniqueness, how you stand out, and you start to up that, it's like you're coming to the place on steroid. And when you're coming to the place on steroid, all kinds of stuff start to happen. You know, there's this guy, he wrote this book and it's called Work Like You're Showing Off. And you start to work like you're showing off because your skills, you have upped that, it's on steroids, and how you're impacting the place is so amazing that your value, your bonus is more expensive to let you go than to keep you. So it's better for the organization. It's harder for them to let you go when you are adding value. And the adding value is all of the bonus stuff that you're doing, all of the how you're impacting, how you're making a difference to the environment, how people feel about you being there. Those are the things that you need to focus on. Those are the things that get you unredundant ever.
I love it. Unredundantable. We're going to add that to the dictionary. Lisa, do you have anything you'd like to add to those
So yes.
to minimize the likelihood of that perhaps happening to them again, or if any at all in the future?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's very hard. So anybody on the call who has lost their job or layoff, I want to say, hang in there. There's a change process for going through this, starting from denial, anger, deep depression, and we will want to get you back up that curve to where you try new things and you're able to get back on your feet to help. I coach leaders and say, in your organization, remember, you're talking to people, they might be there at a job, but you don't even know if their spouse lost their job. So this is a time to be extremely sensitive to your coworkers and you as an employer. I want to add on to what Diana said. She's absolutely right. If you have a passion, no boy, it might drop in your lap, and that may be a great time to get, how much years of redundancy. Because that's how I started my job. I happened to have been made redundant and chose not to go back into the work world. That was a different time. So I'm not going to say that will always work. No, it may have more risk attached to it. No, as well as the upside is, suppose I was going to start a great online school, which is better than any school now in the cool Caribbean. Clearly, I would be ready to make a lot of money. So that is not impossible. But if you're now, just coming back to the workplace, if you're in the workplace and, COVID is here and it's hard, I have bills to pay, I have my mortgage, I have my insurance, I have to, send my children to school and all of that. It's cash. I need cash. I need to be able to get it. So I would say to you that it's really important to be flexible. And I said it from day one to my colleagues who are union heads, to CEOs, no conversation is offline. Come and tell me if you need to pay me less, maybe I will take less. There are people who, since it has started, have gone from taking a 25% pay cut, 40% pay cut, 50% pay cut. In the tourism industry, it went to 65% pay cut. It went to no pay layoffs. So it is real. You need to be flexible to say, listen, I will take less home and still keep my job. So I know when it comes back up, I can get back on that bicycle. So flexible in terms of salary, if you need a job, then no job. And also time. Maybe I would probably not be demanding of the full schedule. I will do 3 days a week versus 5. There are lots of international companies that their employees actually, they were told, look, you're going to have 1 day a week, no pay leave. What are they to say? No, they have to take it because their job market is not really vibrant, and I'm putting it mildly. So I think it's a shift for us, really looking at that flexible work arrangements act we have. Companies need to kind of adopt it. Employees need to think that they can actually continue to do very well using those skills we spoke about earlier, the mindset that, Dana and I spoke about, and really ensuring that you continue, because normalcy is very important. We're in a crisis. There's no doubt about that. And I think it's important for you to kind of do what other people do. Preserve your cash, try and manage it through. It might be 3 weeks in your industry. It may be 3 months. It may be 6 months. It may be 18 months. And you have to manage yourself through that time. That's what I would add.
Awesome. Thank you so much, ladies. I mean, we have gotten so many great nuggets here tonight. I think this has been a fabulous discussion. And again, we always appreciate the engagement of our audience, our viewers, and it's just great to know that, again, we continue to be on the path of recognizing there are opportunities. We are in the middle of an economic reopening, which everybody's excited to see. In as much as some are cautious, it is a move in the right direction, and we are partnering, of course, with our government and the rest of the people of Jamaica to be able to see that happen. And our response as employees is, of course, to ensure our mindset is in the right place, always seeing the opportunities, being flexible, upskilling, retooling, and also making sure that we are in the right place to take advantage of opportunities. And even if things hit us in the way that we didn't anticipate, again, looking at it as an opportunity, again, to shift and to perhaps realize a passion that we never had the opportunity to realize before. So I'm just going to do a couple of quick housekeeping matters. before we go into what we call our final nugget. And again, we thank our viewers for joining us. So the first thing is, remember, guys, I know that we had a lot of people joining us at various points in the live. Some people are like, we're late, we missed it. You actually didn't, because the reality is we are recording everything as usual. And what we do is, starting tonight, going into tomorrow, we put the recording of this session on all of our social media channels: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Or YouTube, actually, our YouTube channel is a great place where we keep a library of all the previous JMMB Goal Getter Lives, and this one will be joining them as well. So feel free to watch, take your notes, and again, share the recording with anyone who you believe would find value in this discussion. We will be back again next week, Tuesday at 8:30. I'm not going to tell you yet what the topic is, but as usual, we always have some awesome discussions here on JMMB Go Get Alive and fabulous guests. So you're going to have to follow us on social media as usual to keep abreast of what's happening and to know what's coming up next. So stay tuned, of course, like, subscribe, and follow us on all of our channels. You'll get great information. And now we're going to go back to our lovely panelists and go into what we call typically our final nugget. And the final nugget of our JMMB Goal Getter Live session is this. So again, we would have covered all sorts of rich nuggets throughout the course of this discussion of all the different things that we need to be doing to remain marketable and in this evolving job market. But of course, we're going to go to bed tonight and sleep on everything that we would have digested here. And then we're going to wake up in the morning. And the final nugget is, ladies, would each of you share with us, what do you believe is that number one thing that we should do first thing tomorrow as we stay on our path to maintaining our marketability in an evolving job market? And I'm going to start off and ask Lisa to share with us what she believes is the final nugget for her.
Okay, thank you. Yes, a little pressure to put it all in one sentence, but I would say that, breathe. You got to, this is a high anxiety moment. So I think you have to get, your little routine going that keeps you grounded, whether it's like me, I'm planting callaloo and pak choi and all of those things right in my little townhouse complex. So I really do that. Whatever keeps you centered, it's really important for that, because if you don't have on your seatbelt and your life vest, you can't help yourself and your family. So do that. Invest in yourself. Look for things that are going to really help you to grow. And they're all around. We had some great examples today. I should have written them down myself. And then more than anything, the mindset of being curious and just being open. And, Kerry-Ann, I see, you're right to point out that people are very nervous now. I am not nervous at all. I'm not nervous because I just believe that Jamaicans have so much that we bring to the table. We talk about the gig economy. Nobody could beat us at the gig economy. And I believe that we have all of this energy and creativity, and we are brave people. We're brave people. So I think put on a mask and go out there and just figure out, how do I live this safe life and still be active and productive? And I think that whole combination is going to come to people. But I really want to just thank you guys for just giving me this opportunity. And I believe in talent. We have great talent. The 2-page CV, get it done, keep active, stay current and network. But more than anything, a mindset of being curious. Listen, look, learn. You're going to be agile and, build your network. Make sure people know you, and go on and create a social media so people can know that you're out there. I see some people on that I know, and I know they're very, very talented. And I know them personally, and I know them online. JC Knight is one. These people are bright, and we know it. And they're going to be at the front of the line when the jobs resume in a big way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. That's a very chunky final nugget, but we love it. So we're going to breathe, right? We're going to invest in ourselves. We're going to try and manage our nervousness, right? Because at the end of the day, It's about, maintaining our level of curiosity, having the right mindset, networking, putting ourselves out there and communicating, making an impact and communicating that impact. Yeah, I remember going through a business coach exercise once, and the nugget that he gave me at the time was sometimes it's not a capability problem you have, it's a PR problem. People just don't know sometimes the impact that you're making. And I know Diana made the point earlier. People need to know what impact you're making, what's your contribution, what are your capabilities and the achievements you've made. Put yourself out there. And I don't think as Jamaicans, sometimes we were taught that enough. They tell you you're too enough, you must know your place. But the Americans are great with that, actually. And I think it's something we need to continue to enhance. And the social media space has been great in terms of how are people putting themselves out there and sharing their skill sets and what they have. So thanks so much, Lisa, for that nugget. And then Lady Di has an awesome nugget. And we spoke earlier about an action item that everyone can do. So Dana is going to share that with us too right now. Go over to you, Lady Di.
Yes. So that will come up in terms of I am directing everyone because I've benefited from it and I've shared it with a lot of my contacts, and I am sharing it. It's called a standout report, standout assessment. Right at this moment, as we are going through this time, it's important to understand exactly how we stand out as individuals. What is it that we are bringing uniquely to the world? So that is, I'm directing you to go and I'm sure that the website will come up in a minute, and you go and you complete your assessment. No, it is at no cost to you, but it is not free. It's a gift because at this time, everyone is interested in understanding how they stand out and what is the uniqueness that they can bring to the world. I also have some other resources that I really want to recommend, and I'm going to do it as quickly as I can. One is a book called This Time I Dance. And I want you to go and find it and buy it. I don't know the lady or anything, but I'm telling you, when the things shift on us like this, you want to understand how you can create the work that you love. Yes, organizations, yes. But I think this is the time for us to look into ourselves. So that's that one book. The next one is Work Like You're Showing Off. And then the other one is Business Model You. Critical for us to understand how business model you when developed. And those are the nuggets that I want to share and leave with you, because I want people to go away and be in action to work on themselves. When you get you are unredundant ever.
All right. Love it. Thank you so much, Diana. Great stuff. Yes, guys. So be sure to go on. I know we put it in the comments as well. Go online to marcusbuckingham.com and take that assessment. Because again, we're all about learning about ourselves, becoming more self-aware and seeing where there are opportunities for us to enhance our strengths and to continue.
And after you do the assessment on Friday, you can join Marcus on Instagram Live, because he's going to go into a deep dive into understanding your strengths and getting more deeper knowledge on how to make it into something that can work for you and can impact your space.
Wonderful. And just to be clear, guys, again, we're broadcasting live here on Tuesday, the 16th of June. So go online and do
Friday, the 19th of June.
Right. So it's going to be Friday, what will be the 19th of June. So if you're watching the replay, make sure to get on quickly, do the assessment, and to join that Instagram live session on Friday, the 19th of June. And you'll get all the details when you go online. So thank you so much, guys. Can we have a round of virtual applause for our guests, our fabulous guests this evening? That is Lisa Soares Lewis and Dana Morgan Burgess, two awesome people development specialists, gurus, experts, turn up the thing, them know them thing. They are just fabulous, wonderful ladies. And we thank them for their time. They probably would be.
Can I ask you to please go and follow me on muchmoredev.ja at muchmoredev.ja.
Much More Dev JA. There is her Instagram tag, Diana's Instagram tag, and that's on Instagram, right, Diana?
Instagram.
And
Kerry, IG.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Kerry.
I'm a Gen Xer, people. Forgive me. Just exercise a little patience with me. Right, David? Tell them to ease up on me now, David. Yes. So, Lisa, where can we find you?
Right. So my company is called Great People Solutions, and I use my name, Lisa Soares Lewis, on all platforms. But Great People Solutions, all the contact details are there on the website as well.
Great. And I know I follow you on Twitter. That's where we found you, on Twitter.
Okay.
Lisa, but you're on all the platforms. So that's great to know. So please feel free to follow these ladies. And, once you follow them, you'll continue to get all the nuggets of wisdom that you need to help you on your career journey. So ladies, we thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you.
For your expertise, and I know all the wonderful comments and commendations for everything that you've shared with us here tonight. I know it has really poured generously into a lot of people who needed to hear what we shared tonight, especially in this time of reopening and questions and a little bit of uncertainty. But it was really a timely word at this point. So, ladies, thank you very much. Thank you to our viewers. We saw Sir Morris.
They're awesome.
Everybody online. Wow.
Yes, we had Mr. Morris coming to us from Indonesia. I'm just saying, we've gone international far and everything. So we thank you guys. Big up to you too, Mrs. Brown. We really appreciate you guys for joining us. Again, share this content with anybody who you think would find value. And again, if you have any specific questions about JMMB or anything at all, feel free to DM us after the live. It's not a problem. We'll be happy to have someone contact you to address any questions that you have. So thanks again, everybody. Please continue to stay safe. Right? Let's continue to stay safe, be wise, take care of each other. And thank you again, ladies. And we wish you all the best in everything. And of course, I have to big up my marketing team in the background here.
They are great.
Working hard every Tuesday night. It's wonderful. Thank you again, ladies, for your support. So good night, everybody.
Thank you, Kerry-Ann, Diana. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, JMMB. This is very amazing. Listen to me. I see nothing less than what is being offered here being sold, and JMMB is doing an amazing job.
Awesome.
Supporting the community. I love it. I love it. I love it. And we are really, really an example to the world.
Absolutely. Very inspiring.
Thank you, Lady Di. Thank you. We are it's really our pleasure to do this. So thanks, everybody, and have a great night and a great rest of the week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.